It is for you. Come on.
Let's get it, man. Fire.
What? The elevation for the nation, baby.
What? Y'all ain't ready for these. Y'all ain't ready for these. Y'all ain't ready for these new ones.
Fire. Yoga. Feel the truth.
They got new ones. Y'all not ready for these.
Man. Y'all ain't ready for it, man. Shout out to all the notification squad. Squad up.
Hey.
Put your noodles and noodles down.
All right, we gonna have some guests next week. I forgot to tell y'all, we gonna have some guests next week, man. I forgot to tell y'all that. So anyway, I'll tell you.
Yoga fire.
We'll tease it as it get close. You know what I'm saying?
Duke Manny Weather.
Duke in the house. What's up, Duke?
Hey, go support that generation next, man. You see them interviews from them high schoolers, baby? Go support that, man. Go out there and support that, man.
I see you, boy. I see
support
you,
that.
Man.
I got some dogs. Already been on there. I got some dogs lined up. 2 dogs that's in here. I got
the word dog.
Mississippi. Number 5th running back in the nation, boss. 2,000 yards as a sophomore, baby.
Oh, man.
Woo.
And see, I know you've been excited about that, man. You giving back. That's what you always wanted to do, big dog.
Yeah, man. It's time.
Yeah, it's time, bro. Give back, bro. That's, you know. And it's more than giving back. You giving those guys all kind of opportunities, interviewing experience.
A voice.
Yeah, a voice. You giving them exposure. Good job, bro.
Voice for the voiceless, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. That boy big. That's real, dog.
Big game, Jay.
And then, listen, I know how some people are. They go look at your channel and say, what this got to do with the Cowboys? Listen.
Who cares?
Who cares? It's a sports channel. And if you're a sports person, watch it. Period.
You feel me? Because it says Big Game James. It don't say Dallas Cowboys.
Amen, bro.
Hey,
you feel me?
Man.
And,
like I
we
Boss
say
Cowboys
sports.
Like Law Nation Sports, you can morph it to anything you want to. And if you follow of Big Game James, you're a follower of Law Nation, you're a follower of Boss Cowboys and OC, you're going to follow whatever we're doing because it's only going to be positive and bring enlightenment. Ha!
Ha! Ooh, man. Hey, also, guys, I just want to say this, man. Great job this weekend, fellas.
Oh, great job. You was the damn point guard. People was talking about point guards. You was like Jason Kidd, morphed in with Isaiah Thomas, all kind of stuff, throwing up hoops. I was definitely dunking. So was Hosty, but I was catching 2 hands backwards. They was catching regular dunks, but I was catching them backwards. So.
Hey, I re-listened to that show, bro. The predictions that everybody was making, I guarantee ESPN couldn't do what we was doing. We was saying every one of those picks before they happened, bro. Every one of them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you know, we can really go through our mock drafts in the past, Boss and Law, and we can really show them, like, I ain't bragging, but mine is like 4 out of 9 for real. Love you.
Right.
Woo. Hey, shout out to Chris Flores, man. He says, best Cowboy show.
Oh, man. Appreciate that, dog. Appreciate that, big homie.
Appreciate you. I had to give him that.
No, we have fun over here.
That yell right there. You know.
Yeah, man, we killed them numbers this weekend. Everybody, man, the numbers was dumb.
They walk around and say, ESPN, who?
What? Who? Man, let's go, man.
Come on with it.
Let's go, man. Good draft. Everybody feeling good. Ain't nobody mad.
Watch how that beat kick in.
Watch it drop it. Watch it drop. Watch it drop.
I just wanna run it up.
Run it.
Kinda check or something. I've been really in the field.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
I've been really in the field. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I have to take you to a meal.
I make the deal.
I just wanna run it up.
I just wanna run it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Kinda check the song. Lately, I just wanna
Run it up.
Count that too. Count it up.
Count it up.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change to the safe. Got blues inside.
I need for him.
Greens and pinks,
that
it's all
fake
the
news
same.
button
My
by
sister
RG3.
broke my chain.
Oh, fake news?
Yeah. When the beat over with.
Okay, I got you. All right, let me turn this beat back up, though.
yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. Used to size up for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love. I love the feel, lady. I just wanna
run it up, man. I just wanna run it up. That's all I wanna do, bro. That's all I wanna do. What's up?
Yo, man, I was just sitting back, stargazing, looking at that intro, dog, and just how it was all put together. That ish. Yo got fire.
Say, man.
Yo got flame.
Yo got fire.
Straight up.
Yo got
that's the hard. That's stuff hard, dog. Just looking at how the music put together with how the inserts is coming in with OC, you, me, I'm like, I wish I could do that, but I'm old.
No, bro. You can do whatever you put your mind to, bro. You put me in the game.
Stop it. No. Okay. See, people say that. See, sometimes reality. See, that's when reality.
I know what you mean. You know your gifts.
You can do anything. No, I can't.
Hey, but straight up, man, I want to talk about this first things first, bro. I want to give you credit.
What's up?
On this white gorilla. Yeah, because they try to take it from you, dog. I ain't going to let them take it from you, big dog. You know what I mean? It's like, we know where.
Was quick with it, bro.
Man, they was quick, bro.
They was quick.
Yeah.
They was quick.
Yeah, man. They was real quick. It was scarily quick. It was like, bro, god dog, man. My boy couldn't even breathe.
Hit me up in the inbox like, damn, that was that quick?
Dog. So for those who don't know what we talking about, Big Game James told the world day 3 of the draft about the white gorilla. He said Brandon Tuck and those insider guys that work with him nicknamed him the white gorilla. So it was a small circle who knew that. It wasn't a bunch of people that knew that, right?
All right.
Big Game James was the person who dropped it. Day 3. I'm talking about not 8 hours later. It was already out there. I said, God,
6 hours.
Man, listen. If that should tell everybody, your voice matter, man. Because they listening. Straight up.
Yeah, they listening.
Yeah.
They listening.
I was like, man.
I said, I hope you don't take offense to it because I didn't know how he would take it. You feel me? Because I don't like to tag players ever. Yeah, because I don't want to ever do that. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but I felt like this one, you got to get tagged on the vanilla
Yeah.
gorilla, dog. Like
Vanilla gorilla.
Perfect with you, dog. Vanilla gorilla. Don't take offense to it. That wear that with pride. Jump all on that. That's the nickname for you. And then them boys jump right in the paper like, yeah, you right. That is a hard nickname.
That is hard,
gorilla.
though.
Let's roll with it. Hey, be a
So
gorilla
basically, Big Game James. So basically, Big Game, this you right here.
Hey, stop, please, come back, please.
Right, exactly, bro. Say, man, them writers got on that quick. I was like,
it's all good.
I was like, I never saw it that fast.
It was all in the chat. I'm like, let's roll with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, that was a great pickup. You know what I'm saying? To get him in the 5th. We talked when I had that interview with Brandon Tucker, folks. Me and him talked about John Ridgeway. Some people, you know, his staff was calling him a unicorn because when Brandon Tucker said when he actually saw Ridgeway, he thought he was an offensive lineman because of his size. And then when he saw he was on the defensive side, he said he was just amazed at what he could do. And then, you know, me and him were talking about it, and I was saying that, you know, I was thinking that he was going to drop, you know, in the draft. And it was funny, like I was saying, maybe 4th or 5th round where the Cowboys could get him if they were to get him. And it worked out perfect for us. And I think he's going to be a great addition with Bohanna. Mm-hmm. Dallas finally has 2 0-1 tech guys that they can honestly say that are true 0-1 techs. And it's been a long time since that's happened. And I think we should be at least happy about that. And he seems to have the attitude to where he's wearing it with pride, to where he wants to show that, you know, he wants to hold the line for his defense. And Bohanna's the same way. So we can get both of those guys to do that, man. It's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, man. And shout out to your work, man. When you built your network with Brandon Tuck and a good relationship to where he giving you access to that type of stuff, and it really shows that if people like you wanted it, they should be able to work in the media if you wanted that. Because the reason being, because Big Game James clearly builds his own networks, and so does Law, so does the OC, and so do myself. But I got to give you credit, Big. I think you're one of the best in the game at being able to just build these relationships with these players, build relationships with media people, and all that kind of stuff. What would happen if you had backing? Not saying you want that. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I mean? Right. So just seeing the type of access you're able to get because of your hustle and your passion for the Cowboys, it just says everything.
But you know what? Here's the thing, and I appreciate everything you say, but when we was talking about off air, there's different things that happen for you, and there's different things that may you want on the inside. And me and you talked about that high school thing. That was always a passion of mine. Yeah. The Cowboys thing is because I love the team, but that high school thing has always been a passion of mine. So when you just talk about that backing, I feel like it's going to come, but maybe it comes in not way of the Cowboys, but it comes in a way that, my passion on the offside of want to do, because, at the end of the day, before these guys were NFL athletes, they were college players. Before they were college players, they were high school athletes and youth football. And that's where a lot of it starts. And we want to open those doors, because who knows? When some of these kids we interview now, freshman, sophomore, we could be talking about them 4 or 5 years later, possibly getting drafted. And that's a beautiful thing that we can see and map out their careers and their lives, very in front of us. And that's what I want to bring to the forefront and give every opportunity to them. So the backing could come in that route. And if it comes in that route, I'll be much more appreciative because I want to get back to these kids.
Well, yeah, man, that's a brilliant thing, man. Let everybody know too of your nephew, man, that's down there in LSU. I think.
Oh, check him out, man. Here. Matter of fact, I didn't mean to cut you off, Law, but I'm about to drop his interview. I dropped 3 interviews already I had with these young men. Very excited about that. And I interviewed my nephew, my cousin. He's headed out to LSU next year. He's got a full senior season. He's also going to be in the Under Armour All-American game as well. So, I'm just excited to see what he's going to do on the field. He gave a great analysis, a great breakdown. He gave a great interview. Boss, I really want you to hear it. You particularly, because you're a cornerback guy, and I said, man, I want Boss to hear this, because he really broke down the intricacies of the game, because he's actually he's switching from corner to safety. So he's going to be safety his senior season. Some of the coaches at LSU were saying, we want you to kind of jump in that free safety position. So, he was talking about the transition. So it's a really good interview, and hopefully everybody get to listen to it when I do post it. And like I said, I look up to Boss, especially on the cornerback tip, as far as what you do on that side. So I definitely want you to hear what my family got to say and give your evaluation. I definitely would love for you to break them down too. I got give an honest estimation. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Love it. Because that's what I love.
And more importantly, I tell them tips too. Tips. You know what I mean? Like that. That's gonna get them better.
Big game. A lot of people are asking, what's his name? What's his name over here? So they can.
He's Ryan Yates. He plays for Denton out in actually Texas. They I think they are. I don't know if they're Class 4A, but they were state champion runner-ups this past season. His name is Ryan Yates, Y-A-I-T-E-S. Don't do Y-A-T-E-S. You will not find it. It's Y-A-I-T-E-S. He's a 4-star recruit right now. Hopefully he can get that 5-star before his senior season ends. He told me one of his goals was he only had 1 interception this past season, but he had like 15 PBUs. He said he needs to get at least 5 interceptions this year because he can't be getting no less if he's talking about going to the NFL.
Facts. Yeah, and we'll talk off air about different things that's going to definitely try to help his game. Now,
yes, sir.
One thing, real quick. Law, you was talking about something about fake news. What's going on?
Well, no, it was just basically I was hearing that RG3, talking about coming to play for the Cowboys and everything. And it was just from what I heard through the grapevine. I didn't get a chance to read into it, but come on, man, let's be real.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
Yeah. So yeah, he playing games, man. We ain't got no time for that. So
Yeah.
I tell you what.
It's Mr. Nasty time.
Yeah.
Take it easy on your back.
Take it easy on your back. All right, so I got some topics I want us to cover from the press conference. All right. It's nasty time. We go talk about it. Yeah, it's Mr. Nasty time. So let's just kind of break these down one by one. All right, because my first question, since we kind of go talk, we might spend maybe the next couple of words talking about the draft, and likely we go all move on. But I want to kind of lay up something and get y'all thoughts on it. Give me 1 second to set it up. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. 223. I should have had it set up before I started that intro. But anyway. Like what we always say, or what you always say, big dog.
Man, dog, we building the plane while it's in the air.
Hey, you just got to be able to roll with it, big dog. And while we doing this, shout out to Keystone, who did an excellent job day 2 and day 3.
He came with the thunder. Like we know Keystone come with picks that players that don't nobody know. Like he have Division III players. Don't nobody know. Ain't nobody ever heard of him in their entire life. He'd be like, watch out for this dude. He might get drafted. He'd be real. Hey, shout out to him on Darren Bland.
Yeah.
He basically called that pick, and he had a lot of these undrafted free agents that he was talking about have on the radar. So shout out to him. I'm going to keep it real. As soon as he starts posting stuff on Facebook, he's one person I listen to. I don't listen to a lot of people or look at a lot of people what they say about players. But when he posts them, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep my eye on him because he really devils into it. So 100% shout out to what he did coming in on that, day 3. It was awesome.
And one more thing before we move on to the topics about Keystone that I want to give him special praise on. Did anybody notice that he was doing it with no notes? He was just sitting back in a chair with the birds chirping, no notes, with over 400.
And you was throwing them in his face.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he
was like, what about that, Keystone?
That man didn't have no notes.
He put him on blast. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, because I know he can handle it.
Outside chilling, you just. What about him, Keystone?
And he aced it every time.
Blah, 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 blah,
What about the corner from Preview? That's the 3rd round guy. Oh yeah, Weenie Wing Dookie Doo. I'll be like, God dog, that dude knew that. Anyway, man.
So he was telling us about Marquise Bell and all of those boys before we even got a chance to really officially sign him. So shout out to Key, man, and he also told me about Story Jackson. So I mean, this dude is a novelist out there, man, with his acumen and his knowledge of the game. So shout out to him, man. And a lot of people on my end was asking, like, dog, what's his YouTube handle? Where he at? You know, so they looking for keys. They looking for keys around here, man.
All right, so this is where you can find him.
Keys open doors.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Your keys open doors. I like this. See, boy, you cold with them names, big dog.
I know. I am cold. I am cold.
You cold.
I am
OC,
cold
we ain't heard from you at all, bro. You know we been going.
Man.
He been chilling.
No, man, it's good, man.
Driving back there, OC, he got the great. Look at that.
LL Cool J.
Look, the only man, who do you love, baby? Who do you love? So look,
brother.
here it is, man. Hey, here's what I think, man. That's just, the only thing I can think of to say about the draft is this. A lot of people recognize what the Cowboys did in this draft, and it's what I love, okay? And it's what I talk about all the time in one way or the other every time we get on a show. Is fundamentals. This was a fundamentally sound draft for the Cowboys. And you know what? Fundamentals win championships. It's not necessarily the flash and all the glamour and the glitz, but they were just so fundamentally sound, just so solid with every pick they made, just solid fundamental drafting, and it's going to pay dividends for the Cowboys, I believe, this year.
Man, so
no doubt, man, no doubt.
It's nasty time. So I think I want to start from the top rope. I'm gonna start from the top rope. Did we make some mistakes in the first round? because I want us on the final word to answer the big questions that's out there. I'm hearing talks of Lindenbaum. I'm hearing talks of obviously Jermaine Johnson. Let's talk about that. I want to start it with the press conference. I want to hear what Jerry Jones got to say. Then let's take this around the circle. Here we go.
Right.
It's hard for me personally to take a center that can get knocked back. Now I understand reach, and I understand going to the second level, and I understand the importance of the center to call. This is just me. But it's real hard if that center can't interchangeable and be a good guard, which does take a lot of base, then it's hard for me to go with just that with the makeup of our team right now. And so that when it obviously a prospect that could be both center guard appeals to me more. And so someone asked the question here earlier, why'd you pass on that center? When you are sitting there with center, we've got that. We've got a big base guy here. And so and obviously we had alternatives when we got it done.
I was just wondering who the best center was. That's all. Just,
Yeah.
Well, I think, Jerry makes a huge point, especially in today's NFL. It's pertinent to how defenses are playing, especially more in first and second time more than ever. Your center's covered up. And if you've ever had a small center or undersized center, which I have, and you deal with it, and then you line up on Sunday, and first thing you look for is, how many times they're going to leave your center uncovered. So, your center's not uncovered very often right now. We call it five-man spacing, where they cover both your center and guards and get to it, many different ways. No different how we get to it with Micah. So that's important right now. And that's definitely a trend you have to pay attention to.
So, who want to start? Did we make a mistake? I think we need to clear the air.
Let me go ahead and start, Boss Cowboy. We absolutely did not make a mistake, and Jerry Jones is absolutely positively right. And we talked about this before, or at least we alluded to it previous, that hey, you don't want to interchange a guy that doesn't have the weight or the experience when you got the same thing that you would have already drafted with Lindenbaum. You already have it, but with more experience and probably a little bit strong at this point with Batty Ass. And so you don't have position flex. He's a pure center. Although, yeah, he's great and looks real sexy, pulling and zone plays and all that. But this is a power football game, man, that he's going to have to play on the inside with some grown guys with more developed muscles. And so if he doesn't have the weight and the technique and that experience of being in the trenches with real men, it's going to bode against him. Initially, his first couple of years, it's going to be a big adjustment for him because the way you align that defensive line, you cannot double team with a guard and a center on every play. You can't do that. They can align a five-man front and take that away, and now you singled up. And so I think they're absolutely correct in what they're saying. I like Batty Ass to come back and have a good year, get stronger, and clean up a lot of the things that caused him to have errors in the beginning part of the season, which he played better to me on the back half of the season. So, no, I think at least this year, right now, we're good with Batty Ass right there.
Well, let me ask you this, though, the OC. He did mention that we already got somebody with a strong base, and he alluded that they can play guard and center. So who is he talking about? Is he talking about Connor McGovern, dare I say, or is he talking about Matt Farniok? Which one of these guys is he talking about?
Oh! He's absolutely talking about, in my opinion, he could be talking about both because that's a great point you bring up, Law. But to me, he's absolutely talking about Connor McGovern because Connor McGovern is and a guy that played, guard for the Cowboys. So they maybe have a competition there, alluding for point, Law. I was gonna save that, Law, but you pulled it out of me, Law.
No,
get over here.
That was actually Law was the one who had that idea to be all the way. You know what I'm saying? Law was the one who put that out there, which I love.
Yes.
Right. And that's a good question, Law. Was he talking about Connor McGovern, who played center/guard, or we also know Matt Farniok? Now, the one thing about what they was doing is they was really heavily in that press conference praising and worshiping Matt Farniok.
They were.
Yeah. They like him, man, and he's done some good things. And, he's a guy that has position flex. So, we don't know all the details, nor will we. We just reading the tea leaves right now. But when we get into early training camp, we'll probably see if they like him as much as we think, him get additional reps. We did see him get in the Eagles game, if you guys remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
We did see him get for several plays, and he did a great job. He actually did a great job.
Job.
With the small segment of plays we've seen him play, he has done a great job.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Well, first of all, unless one of you guys has something, did any one of you guys have anything?
All I'm gonna say is this: with Conor McGovern, I think he's just on the outs. Like I said, I talked to you, boss. I sent that message when I talked to his father.
Yep.
He said, he mentioned Joe Philbin twice in that conversation, saying that McGovern wasn't his guy. And, it looks like that's going to be the way. If you look at how Philbin's come in, he brought in Terrence Steele, he's brought in Biadasz, and then he's brought in Matt Farniok, and then he's brought in Bell. Josh Ball, and then you have Tyler Smith, and then now you have the Matt. I can't remember his last name, but they're all his draft picks. So it looks like Conor McGovern to me is on the outside looking in, which is frustrating because y'all last year y'all kept him from getting picks, right?
Yep.
Y'all kept him from getting traded. There were people trying to poke for Conor McGovern and look for him, and y'all said no. So if y'all do that, but y'all don't have a position for him this year, and his position, like you said, his dad told me he played center his whole life. That was his position, was center, nothing else. Then he went to right guard, nothing else. Never touched left guard. And so that's why I get frustrated with this, with Joe Philbin, because you haven't shown any development since you've been there as an offensive line coach. Who have you really developed? Terrence Steele really worked with Duke Mayweather and got better. But where can we say Joe Philbin has just done a great job? People gave him a great pat on the back because of 2020 because he moved Zach Martin over to tackle. But
Right.
Zach Martin played tackle in college. I'm not giving him them props. I haven't seen the development from this offensive line. And to throw Conor McGovern away because you have your guys that you like, I think is a travesty in my opinion. Because he's never been given a chance at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He missed his whole rookie year. When he played right guard, when Zach Martin went out, he had a very admirable year. Go look at his stats. And when he went to left guard, his father told me he never played left guard in his entire life, ever, in his entire life. So you never played left guard in your entire life, and they throw you in, and you're going against Chris Jones from Kansas City, okay? And then you play in five starts. You only give up one sack.
And they was hard opponents.
You never played. You give up one sack. You gave up 16 pressures. We understand it. But you never give an opportunity to say, Conor McGovern is our starter going into the season. So he's flexing and trying to do what he can, but you're not giving him a chance. And I just get kind of tired of how they're talking about these draft picks that they draft. That was a premium pick at, the third round? You picked him in the third round. That was a premium pick. But you're just going to throw him away just like that because you got some guys that you like that we don't even know nothing about at all. I can give Matt Farniok. He did look good in that Philly game. You know what I'm saying? But to throw Conor McGovern away because he's not your guy, that's a travesty.
Well, go ahead, Law.
No, well, outside of the interior aspect of it, we got three guys that we can't wait to see now, especially at tackle. Josh Ball, you can't forget about him. Excuse me, you went and drafted Max Walicko. I haven't seen his name. So he's going to play tackle, right? And from what I was listening in, and I can't wait to see the OC talk about him again, was Tyler Smith. He's going to be positioned to play at guard. So we're going to be sitting there looking, okay, what's going to happen now? And from my understanding, What Tyler Smith need is Duke Manning, to really coach him up if you guys are really not all in on Joe Philbin as it relates to developing. Because I was listening to the video, man. Shout out to you guys. We're talking about the elbow. Got to keep it inside. He kind of keep his hands too high. Got to drop them just a little bit. He got to be the aggressive tack. And then on top of that, for everybody that's listening, his fouls and his penalties and his flags were more so on his arms being wild and over aggressively. It's not the fact that he's getting beat like Connor Williams, right? So, DOC, I know you're driving, fam, but can you give me some more assessment? Because I like to hear your thoughts when I have a clear mind now versus the first day when we drafted Tyler Smith. Can you give me some input on Tyler Smith and Matt Walico? I think that's how you say that name.
Walazeko.
Well, let's go.
He looked froze, man. That's froze.
He froze.
Yeah, that's froze,
hey,
bro. I know that froze looks. Yeah.
He froze. Yep.
He'll be
froze.
back.
He froze.
We'll pick that up when he come back in.
That's froze. Why do you always get him on them looks? He always got the crazy.
I do.
Don't he?
I do it.
But he do.
Gosh,
I do it.
Have the craziest looks when he froze, bro.
All right, but he gonna be back. He gonna come back at any moment.
He froze in his space, man.
Play that again.
I was spitting too high at him.
Yeah, you laid it up. All he had to do was
you laid it up.
I know. I was ready for him.
Well, yeah,
bounce a little bit.
you laid it up
with it. I won't
hey,
bounce
boss,
a little bit. Now you.
I'll put my picture over his face so I don't see it.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what though, I cover for him while he out. So let me say this, so we can stick to the question.
Offensive lineman.
So this is the deal. I got you though.
Come on, boss, offensive lineman.
Well, I ain't the offensive lineman, but I'm gonna answer this question on Tyler Lindenbaum because a lot of fans.
You said Tyler Smith.
No, I'm talking about
Alex
Tyler
Landstrom,
Lindenbaum
baby.
from the press conference where Jerry was saying that from his point of view, he didn't want a center that was go get pushed. Now, I know a lot of fans are looking at Jerry like, shut up.
Right.
But I know Jerry telling the truth. The way that I know it, because I also wrote it in the Boss Cowboy Guide. I said Tyler Lindenbaum is getting a lot of hype in the 2022 NFL draft, and rightfully so, because you can see that he's a great finisher. Lindenbaum is very solid in pass protection, his quickness, and he gets a good push at the point of attack. If there's any knock on him, it is the fact that he was the occasional liability when it comes to bull rushes and power. So, now, I've never talked to Jerry Jones, obviously, but how are we seeing and saying the same thing? So to answer the question for the fans who might be concerned, right? Did we make the wrong pick? I say we absolutely did not.
No, indeed. Right.
No, because here's the thing. With Tyler Smith, I know he got flaws. He has flaws. But the good thing about him is his flaws can be corrected.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the good thing about him. It's not like he has flaws where they're incorrectable and you're like, this is going to just be a whole waste. He has flaws in his game where if you got good coaching or good training before he heads into camp, you can get him together. And the good thing about it is as well is he has the want to.
Right.
From what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a Texas boy, boss. We already talked about that, dog.
Yeah, DFW.
You're a Texas boy. That means something, and you can hear it in his voice. It meant something. Like he wants to prove to everybody this was the right choice, and I don't think he wants to let anybody down. So I think he's going to go the extra effort. And it came from. It's not like he came from like, Alabama or LSU. You know, he came from Tulsa. So I feel like he maybe got a little chip on his shoulder too. So. I'm gonna go ahead and live off of that right now, and I'm gonna look at that positive. And you know, when I listened to his interview, I heard excitement. And you know, boss, when you hear that excitement in them interviews about how much it means to them, it takes it an extra mile, boss. You know, it's just like if you was playing corner, and you from the D,
Oh.
South Side,
Oh,
and they drafted you, Cowboys.
I'll go
Bruh.
crazy,
Bruh,
man.
you putting your life on the line, damn near.
I'm gonna break my whole arm.
You put your damn life on the
And
line
for my city,
for that team.
Yep.
You feel me? For your city, because your
God,
city gonna be every day on TV watching you every day. Boss on that TV. What?
Oh yeah, you
feel
gotta
me?
represent.
And you going all you like? I ain't repping just for me. I'm repping for the whole city.
Right.
There you go.
Right. So
Feel me?
what? Yes. And see, we can say that because we're from here. No insult to anybody else. It's just about knowing where you from and knowing the culture. That's all we saying.
Right.
Is we know the culture of DFW athletes. You can see Big Game James interviewing them early. You know what I mean? So I was one of them, obviously a product of DFW. We know the culture of this city. Now, some people in certain cities trying to get out. We trying to stay.
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, so yeah, man. So no, that's a big deal. And listen, the more and more I've been sleeping on this pick, the more and more I love it. Not like it, like Law says, love it. And I'm starting to actually change some of my original thoughts, especially when you look at, like when I was saying Jermaine Johnson was the BPA, I actually need to slow down on that thought, for real. Because the OC raised an excellent point. I want to run this by y'all, and then we can go to our next topic.
Okay.
This dude 21.
Just turned 21 2 weeks ago.
Talk about it, Law.
This brother just turned 21 2 weeks ago, meaning that he couldn't go to the store to buy a Corona, right? He had to go, hey, Boss Cowboy, can you go get me this Corona? Hey, Big Game James, hey, man, can you go get me this? You know, he couldn't go in the store, so he's young. And the Cowboys got a 6'5". I've seen some listing had that brother at 332 pounds. And like you said, look, around these parks, I'm learning. You know, Mississippi boys, we love sports, but Texas, man, y'all don't love sports at all. Y'all don't love football. No. Y'all are in love with football. Y'all do everything, and y'all live and breathe football, the stadium, the field. Man, looking like a professional football team around here in Texas. Man, everybody been eating their Wheaties and Eaties. Y'all been eating good, man.
Oh yeah, man.
This boy ready to play.
It's a love affair. In Texas, it is. Texas is a different. Everybody that comes here from the outside, they say, "Whoa, y'all do it like that for high schools?" Like, yeah,
high school.
Our high school stadiums be like pro stadiums,
right?
You know
there he is.
There he is. Hey, man, Law laid it up to you too, bro. He laid it up to you. It's all good. It happens. But hey, all right, if we want, did you want to lay it back up to him?
Can he just talk to me a little bit about Matt Wellico and Alex Landstrom? I know you looked at both of those boys' film or got some knowledge of those guys' film. Do you?
Those guys I didn't study a lot, actually, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I didn't study those guys a lot. So, but I will circle back with you on that, bro.
Yeah, give us.
That's more respected than anything, right there.
Yeah, telling the truth.
I love
can I
that
say
response.
something?
Absolutely, Doug, go.
Can I say something on that?
Absolutely.
The Matt Let's kid, I will say I saw him at the Senior Bowl. He was one kid when I posted all my players to keep an eye on. I could not remember his name. This is on God. I could not remember his name because I remember him standing next to the guard, and I think it was Andrew Stuber from Michigan. He was like a left or right guard. He was standing next to him, and the one thing I noticed, I was like how tall he was. And he played pretty good, you know, in the game. And, you know, they were rotating in and I was like, what is this dude's name? I remember trying to ask. So once his name popped up, remember, Boss, when he got picked, and I was like, man, that's the dude I was thinking from the Super Bowl. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
That was the dude. So, you know, I'm excited about that because, you know, you look at where they picked him. And yes, everybody tried to make fun of his legs and things of that nature. Yes, he probably got to get stronger. But that length does come in handy.
Yes.
And, you know,
and he played bigger.
You could say Cowboys got 2 developmental players, but we can also say when I look at this, read the scouting reports on them, not just on myself, the 2 things that I heard, OC, Law, Boss Cowboys, was nasty.
Yeah, and that's what
Physical.
I'm seeing. I'm seeing.
I got you right here when you say that word. Right, you already know.
It's Mr. Nasty kind.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Let me hit my version too. Here go mine.
Oh, Mr. Nasty kind.
Man, because that was this draft.
The best part.
That was this draft, man. It was straight up.
Oh, Mr. Nasty time.
We got us some nasty boys out there, man.
Take it easy on my back.
Straight up. Ooh, man. Hey,
that boy look like a tall praying mantis though, but he's strong, like you said. He's nasty. He'll lay down all over you, man.
Yeah.
Refuse to get up.
Yeah, he was the one
that whistle.
And the more and more I'm starting to see him, the more and more I'm starting to. Hey, shout out to Renell. He the one sent me them clips, man. Appreciate you, big dog. He said we wouldn't have had that clip without the big homie. But I want to go into another thing that's going to kind of bridge into tackles as well as. Now I'm gonna let it play, and we gonna just have to listen to it all. But we really at the final word. Okay, before we transition, what's y'all final word on Tyler? Did we get it absolutely right, or did we get it partially right?
Oh my gosh, man! I'm a defensive guy through and through. I love defense, but if we're gonna get back to being like the number 1 top defensive, what have you, it starts with the running game. So it starts with a little offense, believe it or not. So with that being said, Tyler Smith, although he play on the offensive side of the coin, we got it right because he's gonna help the defense.
No, he didn't say that, Law. No, he didn't say that, Law. So you trying to be
Law
sneaky.
made it real pretty.
He said,
Law made it real
did he
pretty.
get it halfway right or did they get it absolutely right? Answer the question, Law.
Little big AJ.
What's the truth? I
can't handle the truth, man. You know I wanted defense.
Now answer the damn question.
Look, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying?
No,
look, leave me alone.
Wrong.
No,
answer it. That something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
Come on, man. But I'm saying, all right, so we got it partially right.
Answer the question.
What was the question? Repeat the point. Repeat this point.
Did we get it right with Tyler? Or we gonna look back and be like, man, we got it right? Or did we get it partially right?
We got it right. We got it right.
All right, so we got it right.
Now, Big AJ, you like that? You want a cookie?
Yep. Yep.
Wrong.
All right. So what's up, OC?
Man, look, we got it absolutely right, man. He was the best tackle available. He was the best lineman available at that point in the draft. You got to remember, first of all, that you had Charles Cross, you had Ike Okuwandu. I mispronounced his name, excuse me. You had my guy from Alabama, right? You had those guys already off the board, right?
Yep.
You had Neal off the board, Evan Neal. You also had Zion Johnson off the board at that time.
Yep.
You also
Green.
had Kenyon Green from A&M. He
gone.
was off the board at that time. He was gone. And then you had my guy Trevor. Who?
Go ahead.
Trevor was off the board. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Trevor was off the board. So the Cowboys absolutely got this pick right, and I'm glad because he's going to bring nasty. And you know what? I think you can train and fix technique. You can fix the kick slide. It's going to take, I would say 3 to 6 months to really break the core bad habit, but you can fix the kick slide. You can fix the hand placement. But you know what you can't fix? You can't fix non-physical. You can't fix non-nasty. And you know what Tyler Smith got? He got physical, and he definitely got a lot of nasty.
Yeah. I say we got it right. To be just turning 21, because a lot of people talk about them penalties. Okay.
Right.
Like I'll say, you get a cookie for your knowledge. Thank you. But let's also help your knowledge. Did you know that he had the highest blocking grade ever in the ACC?
That's run blocking, boss cowboy.
Run blocking.
You repeat that one more time.
The highest run blocking ever. And he wasn't even 21. What you say, Law? He couldn't even purchase a Corona.
Yeah, the communion cup, the airplane bottles. He couldn't even give you those,
Yeah. And my boy, I love Weed say, OC, I give you so much props on Tyler Smith. Because, man, you was getting your head handed to you day one, man. Everybody was kind of in shock. We was in shock. And the OC was calming everybody down. He was the one that was everybody chill, you know what I mean? And you was right. And the more and more I sleep on it, the more and more I look at it, the more and more I especially when you said he just turned 21, I was like, ooh, that's T. Smith all over again, low key.
Yeah,
that was
I got an answer in here, man. I got an answer here. Miss Scott and Pro, she's wonderful, unique to the channel over here. She says, do you think it's unfair to grade his college tape at tackle when he played guard in the NFL level? You think it's unfair to grade that college tape at tackle when he's going to play at guard on the NFL? Can you guys make some analogies and all of that good stuff of what he's going to do on this level, juxtapose what he did on the college level?
Well, that's a really great question. And I would say it's not unfair because you always want to see a player's range, his width, and his potential. And so even if he does play primarily guard at the NFL level, you want to see if he has the feet, the intelligence, the movement, the ability to bump outside if you need him to. And I think he does. He's going to need some work. He has to clean up his technique. But the biggest thing you discover from his playing tackle is you see a guy that is committed to the double team. He's committed to finishing blocks. He's always trying to finish a defender. Anytime he gets you in a bad position, Tyler Smith is trying to finish you off. And so that's one of the things I know that had to attract the Cowboys to him. They had to absolutely love it. And he's a guy that when he hits you and you hit him, he's not going backwards. No, especially in the run game. No. He is finishing you. He's rolling you. He's making your life extremely uncomfortable, thus creating lanes. Let's play it forward to the NFL. Thus creating lanes for Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
And if I want to, yeah, and to just kind of give my point of view on it, I think he's going to take the La'el Collins career transition, and I think that's the best way to do it, where you build his confidence at guard on the left side. Help me out on this, OC, if you think I'm tripping, jump in. But I think that's a good transition to start him out at guard, get his pro career going based on a strength, right? Because his strength is run blocking. Don't put him on an island now if that island had him holding, right? And then I also looked at the offense of Tulsa. They throw the ball a lot. They throw the ball a lot, way too much. It was no balance on Tulsa. So you're going to have a lot of penalties and holding penalties when your team is way too pass happy. You know what I'm saying? And you standing out with your arms outside like the OC talked about, it's going to stand out to those referees. But I think he's going to take that La'el approach, and I hope the Cowboys transition him like La'el was transitioned, because I believe what the OC said, especially when he did that analysis on him, where he said the long play is likely him at tackle. I agree. I don't think he go stop at guard. I think they go start him at guard like La'el and move him to tackle.
Well, let me jump in and say a couple of things. You got the best of both worlds in this situation, right? You got a young, strong guy that you still have Tyron Smith on this team. So he's going to learn from Tyron Smith. He's going to watch him play. He's going to watch him practice. He's going to watch the technique. He's going to watch the hand placement. He's going to watch the multiple ways that Tyron Smith, as an elite Hall of Fame tackle, that he carries his hands. He's going to see him carry his hands high. He's going to see him carry his hands low. He's going to see him carry his hands outside. He's going to see him carry his hands inside. And he's going to see Tyron Smith be effective attacking defenders on the edge from a variety of stances. So all that goes into the maturation and development of this young guy. Now, what I will say, and I want to say this again because I think this is really, really important. He was a victim. Check this out. He's a first-round draft pick, but I'm calling him a victim. Check this out. He was a victim. He was a victim of bad line coaching. He was a victim of some bad, because there is no way in Hades that you can see a guy that big, that strong, consistently with his hands outside, and an offensive line coach don't create a couple drills. And I can show you some drills live. I won't do it, but I could. That would just teach him, hey, man, when you kick out of your set, keep your hands below your sternum and work inside with your hands. Stop working outside. That's a habit, and the coach didn't see it or break it. Furthermore, they did him a disservice because he would kick at a 45-degree angle, and he would kick and open up his hips immediately. That's a coaching error. All you got to do is tell the young man, look, get 2 kicks going back with your body straight, just like you see me backing up. Get 2 kicks like this, then you can turn and meet the defender and play ball. That by itself will stop the short edge. So what I think with this kid, I think that we may, and I'm not saying 100% now, okay? So don't go on record, go crazy and say I'm saying, something crazy. I'm saying he may turn into a special type of player, man. And that's my sense if he gets that year of maturation. So, Boss Cowboy, I don't disagree with you on what you said. I just think he was a product of some underwhelming coaching and correction, man. And he would have been drafted even higher had those things been addressed as they should have been, early in his career.
The OC.
There's no emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
All right, next topic. Let's go.
Steven, you often tell us you take snapshots of the cap 2-3 years.
What's up?
Real quick, one last thing on him that I want to point out. I want everybody to see, because we still got some haters out there and some people that are concerned about the Tyler Smith. We can look at all of his bad technique, Law, Big, Boss Cowboy. We can look at him missing with his hands, and we still rarely see the man get beat.
Right.
Great observation for the nation.
With all his bad technique, his hands, his feet, you can talk about all that, but yet and still, the man rarely got beat.
Yeah.
So just imagine. Just imagine him with good technique. Go ahead.
Good stuff, man.
Hold on real quick. Yeah, that's what you did to that point. Whoever was hating on him, that's what they doing right now, big dog. Now we finna get into some sauce. It's nasty time, Law. It is nasty time, bro.
I got you, man. I got you right here, man. It's Mr. Nasty Time.
Mr. Nasty Time.
Ooh. Hey, it's gonna get nasty on this next subject. We might not even be able to move on. But here we go. Because to me, when I slowed down and listened to this, I was like, ooh, they let out some clues. But I'm going to just listen. Let's go. Here we go.
Steven, you often tell us you take snapshots of the cap 2-3 years down the road and things like that. When you look at having the picks you had today, does that play a part in that? Because you know what's coming salary cap wise with the big money guys you have, and then what you may have with Trayvon and Micah and CD.
It's always on your mind. I mean, that's why we do take snapshots 2 and 3 years out. It's not just who's going to be here for this year. It's, you can project out a little bit and know there's going to be some holes 2 years from now and 3 years from now. So, that's why, and it's just like Nick said, he's wondering, you say we drafted for need, but yet he said we didn't address a need. So I think that's part of it. I mean, it all depends on, I think all teams, would like to have more I think every spot on your roster can be a need when you're getting into those type of things, competitiveness, compete for a roster spot. I would add Farniok, as a guy that we really like a lot. That's going to push somebody, and we're going to be playing him at center, correct, Mike? And he's going to push, and he was a guy we drafted last year, and he's done nothing but come in there and do everything the right way. But I think all these guys you look at, And when you look at taking tackles like that, and we got Ball, what's this roster going to look like 2 and 3 years from now in terms of, who will be on it? And, we weren't against. We looked at a couple of running backs because, Pollard's going to be free next year. Rico's going to be restricted. Zeke's making a lot of money. All those things come into play. This thing's fluid, especially as you start to look at 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
Well. The truth will set you free.
Yeah.
Some people will say,
"Want the truth? You can't handle the truth."
They can't handle law. They
Can I start it?
can't handle the truth, law.
Can I start it? Let me
Big
start
Game
it
Jack,
off.
go ahead.
Let me start it off.
Go ahead.
Now, we said last week, you don't want to be, you got to be real careful when your lady or your man starts saying stuff without you ever prompting them to say something. So my boy Wesky used to always say this. We used to trip out on this. Be concerned when you having an argument, right, over the soap, and your girl says, "I've never cheated on you." You be like, wait, where'd that come from? Right? They start naming names when they start talking about people 2 and 3 years down the line. They talked about Ball, Fournier, and the running backs. And they named Pollard and Zeke, and he talked about Zeke's money. So we got trolled on the final words for even having this conversation last week. We got trolled for talking about Breece Hall, for saying they could be looking at that, and that would be a creative way to try to replace those guys. Oh, they was ha. What'd you say, Law? They was in the chat killing us.
Right,
you can't kill us.
They're shanking us with all type of butter knives.
You can't kill us when you heard it from Stephen Jones now. You can't kill us. You can call us.
Was listening.
Yeah, maybe they was listening. But say, I keep seeing it. And then he praised Ball. Plus they got 2 new tackles. That's saying a couple of things to me. First of all, Philman got more clout than what we think, because if he didn't have that clout, they wouldn't have invested into him. 2, all the tackle investment is putting a bullseye on Tyron Smith. I don't care what nobody say. It's a major bullseye on him. They are looking 2 years, maybe a year down the line, he's going to be gone. That's what they're planning. It's clear as day, especially when you listen to them just bring up tackle in 2-3 years down the line 3 times.
Big Game. What you got on that, man?
Well, I mean, this is not nothing new to me. I said on my Twitter that Trevor Diggs, Micah Parsons, get ready, because after y'all got 13 sacks and 11 interceptions, and Trevor Diggs is right around the corner. Didn't I say that, Law?
Yep.
I said they ain't gonna say nothing to you this year about you giving up 900 some yards. But when you go to them negotiations, you give up 900 some yards again. Guess what? They be like, well, you're a beast, but you gave up 1,000 yards. I don't know. That's 2 years in a row. And watch them. See this year. When the draft comes up next year, watch what they do. They're going to draft a cornerback high. Okay? Cowboys are going to draft a cornerback high because they're going to prep for the if Diggs gets too high, we're going to prep for you. That's what he says when Stephen Jones. People can say what they want. When DeMarcus Lawrence, when his contract was going to come up, why'd they draft Taco Charlton? I know we all mad about that pick, but you know why they drafted him? Because DeMarcus Lawrence had been a bust so far. And they drafted him on the left end because that was his dominant position. And they were saying, DeMarcus Lawrence, this is your last year. We're drafting Taco Charlton. So if you falter and DeMarcus Lawrence end up getting 14.5 sacks, they said if you falter, guess who's getting your spot? We're not going to re-sign you, and we're going to take this cheaper addition, and he's going to start on the left side. So that goes in hand what they're talking about, and they do it every year. And that's with CeeDee Lamb, and every player they should say. How many times we talked about, boss? We've had interviews where we say, as soon as those we've had players on here say, as soon as we've been drafting you for your replacement, right after that. So this isn't that new. And so Stephen Jones is the cheap side. So he's always going to try to get a rookie that costs less than a top dollar player. So they're already looking at CeeDee Lamb. You got a lot of targets this last year? Okay. Well, we'll see how you do this year. And then we're going to draft probably another top receiver next year. So if you price yourself out, we're going to replace you. But is that the wrong type of thinking, fellas? Is it? I want to ask y'all. Is that the wrong type of thinking?
Yes. It's the wrong type of thinking. Because you preach that we reward our own. Then when it's time to reward your own, then you use the public against your own. You are your own distraction to your own success. It's a bad model to me. Somebody might disagree, but it's a bad model to me to try to preach loyalty, but then reward their loyalty with treachery. Because it was treachery how they did Dak. Dak was the only person with that type of resume that had to play 4 years and get tagged. That was crazy to treat a guy like that was a model athlete like Dak was. So, yeah, it's crazy to watch a guy get 11 interceptions and then scheme a plan, in my opinion, Big, to try to devalue the greatness that you see. Just me.
Let me interject right quick on that topic, though. I truly believe that that's just the cost of doing business. It's just that Stephen Jones speaking it. That's the natural flow. You think Ryan Tannehill wanted to say, yeah, man, Malik, whatever Willis, I'll teach you to take my job? No. I'm fighting for this role. I'm getting paid money to play in this role. And that's a whole nother team, but they going through the same situation. And no, he's telling the truth, but everybody wants somebody to lie to kick it. They wanted him to literally say the PC role and say, yes, Malik, you come on in, I'll show you the ropes. No, it's equivalent to somebody saying, hey, when it's time for you to get some lessons with your wife, you don't say, hey, can you teach me? Can you show me? No. There's some things in business, there's some things in life that you have to learn and figure out on your own. And for a role of a quarterback, that's a role that other quarterbacks got to figure out on their own. And as far as what Stephen Jones said, it's a con and it's a pro to it. And the pro to it is that, yeah, these boys need to know that nothing is comfortable. And if I'm the GM of the Dallas Cowboys, I would tell all of the coaches, hey, y'all know my job is to replace these players out here, right? Mm-hmm. And your job is to elevate and to teach these players to play. Now, you should be telling these players out there on the field, your job is to replace them if they can't pick up what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So that should be the mindset, because Jimmy, that's how he ruled with an iron fist. Yeah. Now, Jimmy ruled with that iron fist. The asthma field is over there. And all of a sudden, football is becoming less and less because we got these guaranteed contracts and we got all of this hidden money in place. But football is becoming softer and softer. My job is to tell these running backs, even if you're on the bottom end of the roster, you can be the next TD who was undrafted, got 2 Super Bowl rings, for the Denver Broncos. If you're the quarterback, if you way at the bottom, you can be looking at it like you could be the next Tony Romo, who was undrafted, who had the most yards ever thrown in the Cowboys uniform. You got to have that mindset that these people, although y'all fighting together, y'all grinding together, but you at war with each other. It's competition. This is iron sharpen iron. Yeah, John Ridgeway, he should be looking at Big Bo like, yeah, dog, I'm putting up 25 to 28 reps every day. I'm coming. That's my spot right there, and I want that.
Finish him.
So we got to fight this one out a little bit, Law.
Go ahead, fight it.
Well, just a little bit. And I'm going to be quick, OC. I'm going to be quick. Because you right, Law. You right. You do want competition, big dog. I agree with that. But what Big Game James asked was, is this the right way they going about it? That was his question. In terms of guys who had a top market performance. And when it's time to pay them, to now devalue them. You know, that's what I'm talking about. What you talking about, I totally applaud what you're saying. I agree. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about every word that Big Game James said, and I don't agree with how when you do your job, Dak should have got paid after 2018, and it was clear, especially after the Giants game. Because after the Giants game in 2018, he threw up 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, and they sat Zach Martin, Fredericks, T. Smith, and Zeke. And he won that game on a game winner and gave them momentum in the playoffs. They should have paid him, but they didn't. They kept the games, to Big Game James' point. And I think it's bad. I don't think you can go too far when you manage a team like that. That's just me.
Right. I feel you on that aspect of it. But Dak Prescott and his agency should know that, hey, these are business people. They ain't multi-billionaires just by chance. And if it's an easier way, it's a proper way to handle that, yes. But the Cowboys, you got to look at who the Cowboys are. We can see the tea leaves happening. So that's why Rocky Arsenal said, you know what, before it's due, I'm gonna have my client to sit out and remember it was Rocky Arsenal that said, hey, y'all being disrespectful to Ezekiel Elliott by saying Ezekiel Elliott. Okay.
Right.
The price of the bag just went up even more.
Yeah, guys. I mean, you guys know the old adage. Have you ever heard of, and I hope this hasn't happened to none of you guys, so if it has, please don't say it on the show, okay? Your significant other comes home, and she talks about another person at her job, like, oh yeah, Mike was a really cool guy, he's a nice guy. Then a couple days later, she said, like, yeah, Mike helped me into the car, I had, some stuff I had to carry home from work, it's Mike. So after that, you start to think you should if you're smart. I'm helping the audience now.
Right.
Who is Mike? Who in the world is Mike? You should start to have a little bit of concern, and that is exactly what the Joneses do to these players. And so what he did is tell them, we got Mike, we got Tyrone, we got Billy, and we're putting them in the building. And so what you got to do is stand up and recognize, okay, that this is a competition, okay? Don't ever lose sight of the fact that this is a competition. I don't care how many friends you have. I don't care how many times y'all hang out. I don't care if y'all go buy the same Rolls Royce after your second contract. Don't forget, this is a competition. And I'll say this. When I was in college, I never, ever hosted a recruit. Never. And Boss Cowboy tell you this, never hosted a recruit. You know why? Because it was always a guy about my weight, about my height. He happened to play my same position. That wasn't a recruit. That was my replacement. So these guys are not just draft picks. These guys are your replacements. And if you don't realize that, shame on you. Now, as it relates to the business model, my final point is this. It is always good to keep everybody on their P's and Q's. It is always good to keep you on the P's and Q's and to make the environment competitive. However, it is an unwise business practice to throw away 80% for 20%.
There you go.
It's an unwise business practice to throw away 80% for 20%. And what you can do in the name of saving a couple $1 million is throw away the sure thing for the thing that's not all the way proven just because it can save your cap. And so that's the tension that I hope Stephen Jones in the front office, I hope they can manage this tension, right? Because if they don't manage the tension, then you get rid of the players that you should have kept.
Yeah.
Big facts. The big facts right there, man.
Right on. Yeah. So I do have, but I'm seeing the chat. It's a lot of people, they more so on, they hate that side of the business because that's the thing that I think happens with the draft. And I'm being all the way honest. Draft with Will McClay is the cologne when you didn't take a bath.
Break it down, fam.
You stink. But the cologne right under your nose gives you the feeling that you don't stink.
Right.
So we all got that good smell of these good candidates, and it can take away the truth that there are still areas to where we stink. I was talking to one of my friends, and I was saying it was almost like, I ain't gonna say it. It's too much. It's almost like when a lady take care of you in the best way possible, and it's amazing. Can we just keep it like that? Right. So, and it's been amazing. That's not the time to wife her up, or that's not the time to think she's the one because you had a fantastic experience. Right. That's not the time.
Talk to me.
You got to look at the big picture of that lady. You got to look at the big picture. And yeah, when it happens, like, yeah, we feel good right now because of the draft, but they still the same. Right? Have they really changed? When it's time for somebody to get paid like Big Game James was talking about, or you go result back to those toxic behaviors because you're in a toxic relationship. You see what I'm saying?
It's business, man. It's business.
But see, I think it's not business.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? I don't think it's because if it was business law, we would see the other teams do it. Like, we the only team.
Well, here's the thing. The Kansas City Chiefs, what they did to move on from Tyreek Hill is nothing different than what we do with all players. It's just the fact that they don't talk. They don't have a general manager and the owner and the daddy and the son business, the family-run business, to have 2 to 3 radio visits a week, right? Hey, look, Tyreek Hill said he wanted to get Devontae Adams type of money. They probably looked at Tyreek Hill and said, "No, you ain't Devontae Adams. You're not worth it. We can't pay you that. Come on, man."
And
we
agree.
Still got to pay.
I agree with that part.
Paying a quarterback $500 million.
No,
we can't
I totally,
do that. But
I
so what
totally
they did
agree.
was in silence.
Yeah,
in silence they handled their business.
So we saying the same thing. It's the lack of silence.
Right.
That's what we saying.
Right.
That's the part that's not business.
Can I just address the big elephant in the room? And I'm just going to say it in a phrase and I'll shut up. Here's the deal. Everybody just got to realize that on some levels, how we conduct business, quote unquote, are the mode of operation of our management at this point is just petty. And if you know it's petty, then expect petty behavior. Therefore, stop being surprised when you see a bunch of petty behavior. Because it's just petty. Yeah. It's just petty.
So this is how I'm going to put it. And I think everybody should feel me on this when you put it like I'm getting ready to put it. I was going to do a video on this. I still might, but I'm going to go ahead and break some of that video now. As good as we feel about the draft, just stop and imagine how much better we would have felt if they got the proper compensation for Cooper and Lyle.
Yeah.
From the business of talking. That's all I'm saying. Is what if we would have had an extra second with as good as Will McClay is with that draft board? What if we would have had an extra fourth because of Lyle, or a third? So me and you on draft day 2 and day 3, Law, was saying, man, look at Baltimore. They got all these picks.
Big facts.
But they win. How they doing it? Oh, because they got the appropriate trade amount for Hollywood Brown versus we didn't. We got a fit. You know what I'm saying? And we go use it. Will McClay worked magic with it. But you telling me Will McClay couldn't have worked some super magic with a second or a third or a second and a fourth for Amari? That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah, I feel exactly what you said, but like I said, man, there's no closed mouths over here in Dallas, and that's the model that they do. Now you did mention, hey, there's a lot of cologne that the Ravens just put on, and we'll see whether or not they took their bath before they got these picks, or it's just cologne. And we won't find out until the season manifests into itself. So that's what we're waiting for now. I get tons. Now I got this. Law Nation is the Eagles show now because I got a third of the Eagle fans all in my inbox said, hey, we coming for y'all. We want Dallas. We got A.J. Brown. We got Jordan, Big Boy Davis, who y'all want. And we took y'all linebacker that y'all crying about, N'Kobe Dade. They all in my feed talking about they going to whoop us. But I'm sitting here waiting. I'm saying, okay, you spray the cologne all over you because y'all said the same thing last year, right? And all I'm saying is keep that same energy. Go buy those hats. We want Dallas. Make sure you buy the extra T-shirts and everything because my Cowboys are coming, and I ain't folding up for nobody. Let's go Cowboys. I don't care who we done drafted. They could have drafted me. I'm saying that the Cowboys are going to whoop up on the Eagles and the Giants and the Washington Commodes. I'm not worried.
Exactly. No, I feel you.
And I'm going to push back a little bit on you about this, Boss Cowboy, because you said they got on cologne to cover the bad smell, okay? And what I really see with this roster, based upon what they did in this draft, is that the Cowboys actually got a bushel of groceries. They have quality ingredients. The question is, Boss Cowboy, how do they cook it?
Right.
Because you can have a fresh steak, fresh tomatoes, fresh rice, corn, yams, all that. And you know what? You can burn it. You can put together a bad combination of a meal and mess up the ingredients that you have. It was nothing wrong with the ingredients. It was the chef. It was how you cooked it. So that's the question that we have to wait to see. How do the Cowboys cook in the kitchen? That's the question.
And we already know, to be honest, big dog. Can we tell the truth? We already know. They can't cook, bro. Can we just say it? Can we just say it and quit playing, bro? These boys cannot cook.
Are you saying like who the chef though? What we talking about cooking?
Front office.
Front office.
Because Will McClay know how to shop. He know how to shop. That's clear. We're top 4, top 3 easily in drafting. We top 2 in the last 10 years of getting talent. The cooks is messing it up. It's no question on can they cook? No, they can't cook. And what are the changes that they need to make to become good cooks? Number one, when it's time to trade players, stop talking.
Well, I do agree with you on that. But, man, look, just be honest with you, man. That's water under the bridge now, fam. We went back to like this particular – I'm looking at like this team. And I know the philosophy. You don't drink the Kool-Aid. You know a big game, James, now. But I'm still trying to push this Kool-Aid up on y'all. They went and got accountability, and they went back and look at this thing and said, okay, we need to get back to attitude, physicality. And if you look back and you listen to what those boys said all this week, they got some people with some aggressions. So I think that they're going to go back to 12 personnel. They're going to get back to running the rock. And I think that this is what I'm feeling, that they're going to cook it better. You know?
Yeah.
They're going to cook it better this year. They're going to cook it better. Dan Quinn can cook. Shout out to you, Suave TV.
Because you're right on that, Law. That part is some good cooking. They stuck to that.
I'm not listening to none of that. I'm not listening to that. Okay.
What you mean? They cook good.
Okay? Y'all
they did cook at that part. They cooked good, bro.
I don't care. Yes, it was a good draft, but I don't give a hell. You get what I'm saying? I'm not falling for the foolishness, the foolishness, and none of it. I need to see them get on the field and actually do it. Philbin should have the fire all on him, okay? Because we're talking about Matt Farinack, we're talking about Connor McGovern, you're talking about Tyler Biadasz, you're talking about Josh Bell, you're talking about all these offensive linemen that are drafted on here. Then let's see some production out here. I'm tired of hearing all this talk. It's a lot of talk and sounds all good, but we've been doing all the talk. I don't want to hear that. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not listening to all that what y'all saying. I'm not disrespecting what y'all saying. Understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I fully respect what y'all saying, but I'm not listening to it. You understand me? Because too many times you just said, Law, let's draft. Okay, let's do this. Well, we had the last 2 drafts, and we had good players. And what we do in the season?
Right. Yeah.
Failure. So I don't want to hear none of that noise right now.
But at
I
the
don't want to hear that
ask,
noise.
Go ahead.
So I want to ask a quick question in the chat real quick. Marv P said this. He said, is Kellen's cooking hurting our stars, Zeke, Cooper, and Dak, boss.
Yes.
That question was for you, boss.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to lead the campaign on that as soon as we get off to the euphoria of this draft. Once we settle down, because I'm not going to kill the momentum and the excitement in this draft, but at some point we do got to talk about the reality of a system-based offense and how toxic.
I want to ask you something, boss, and you guys. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I want to ask y'all something right now. It just has popped in my head about Dak Prescott. Has he already reached his ceiling?
If he did, I'm cool with it.
Yes or no?
No.
He's still getting better. I believe he still is.
No, I think he has. I think he has reached his ceiling.
Okay,
we'll give you that. Break it down.
Because we look at players. Where do you think Dak is going to get better at? I'm not disrespecting Dak when I say this, but when we see players like we talked about, boss Zach Wilson,
right?
When they say he has a very high ceiling, he's going to continue to get better and better, where he's going to take his game to eliteness because he had those traits. I feel like Dak has worked himself to where he's at, and this is what he's going to be. And you just need to continue to build a team around him because this is what he is. And you need to build a team around him to go forward. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm not disrespecting him, but that's just how I feel in my heart. And if people take that disrespect, that's on y'all. That's just how I feel.
We know you not disrespect. We know you keep it real.
Right.
I just want to encourage you just a little bit because Romo said that the game didn't fully slow down in here to year 7. This year 7 for him. You see what I'm saying? So as smart as Romo is, and we know Romo is probably one of the smartest quarterbacks to ever play. We all know that. Even Romo, the game had to slow down by year 7, by his own words. You know? So it's one of those things that also I think it's a little bit too soon to say he reached the ceiling when he spent most of his offseason last year trying to get back on the field. He didn't spend his offseason preparing to play. He was just preparing to try to play, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? So really, in my opinion, the clock stopped, right? For his offseason. You know this big law, OC, when do we make our biggest gains? In the offseason. So if he trying to get his ankle healthy, how was he doing that? He couldn't. So he had to get healthy, and then the clock started again. So now he's actually getting ready to go through a full offseason again, and we can watch did he make another progression. Because we all know just because of the injury, the clock had to stop last year.
Right.
I understand that, but when I listened to OC, when I didn't mean to cut you off, OC, and I'm gonna just be real quick, and I want to hear you. But I listened to the OC, and he said this is a critical year. I think it was that video, but this is a critical year for me with Dak. You know, you did lose Amari Cooper. You don't have the. I mean, I do believe CD Lamb is a number 1 receiver, but you did lose a little bit. But I just feel like, just in my heart, and I'm just not going away from it, I just feel like he's already reached his apex of what Dak is going to be. He's shown you can throw for 4,000, 5,000 yards, okay. But what you need is just to continue to build around him. I just don't think he's going to take another level as far as this passing level to where he's going to just be this super elite quarterback right now. I just don't feel like in my heart. And I'm sorry, that's what I feel about Dak Prescott right now because he's 6 years in the game. And I told you, boss, he had a breakdown on him when he came out of college, and I still see those traits that was the breakdown. And so if I still see those traits 6 years later, then I feel like this is what you just are. And then I feel like you're a really good player, just like I feel like Tank Lawrence is a really good player. But are you the elite guy, Tank Lawrence? I don't feel that. If you get some other players around you, you can get that. But I just don't feel like if you put Tank Lawrence on another team, he's just going to say, hey, we signed Tank Lawrence at $20 million. He's going to take our team to the next level. No, I don't believe that. And I'm not dissing him. I just feel like this is what he is now, and we just need to continue to build around him and add players to him.
Well, let me contextualize it like this with Dak Prescott. He threw for 68.8 completion percentage, right? For 4,449 yards and, of course, 37 touchdowns. And with that being said, this was coming off of a 37 to 10 ratio, 37 touchdown, 10 interceptions. So if that's his peak, right? Far as those numbers, if you equate those numbers and you compare that for, like, let's say if he do those numbers for 3 more years straight, don't you know that those are Hall of Fame numbers that no other quarterback in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, whoever put on that silver and blue, never did that?
You think Dak Prescott's the Hall of Fame quarterback law?
Yes.
If he does this 3 more, bro. If he does this, if he throw for 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions 3 years consecutive, those are Hall of Fame numbers.
Yes, that
There's
is.
nobody who can. That is Hall of Fame numbers.
Because it's what we listen to what Law said, Big. He said if
I'm listening to it.
He said
Y'all,
37
come on,
touchdowns.
Come on,
37
dog.
for
Y'all
10?
play football too long. Don't do this.
That's a franchise record.
That's the franchise.
I think the
record.
OC. I want to hear the
This is his
OC.
feeling.
I want to hear the OC. I want to hear the OC. I ain't listening to y'all no more. I want to hear the OC.
Yeah.
Why not? Hold on. We just
bro.
all right. Go ahead, OC.
All right, listen, y'all know. I want to hear OC.
Go ahead.
That's without counts. If you want
Yeah, but I got something to say, man. I got something to say.
last year.
You can't.
For
You
3
come
more
back,
years
but I
in
need
a
to hear
row,
OC.
that's
right?
Hall of Fame
OC.
numbers.
That
OC
is.
Feel me.
That's
I feel
clear
like the
Hall of
OC
Fame.
Feel me. I feel like the OC feel me.
I don't think
So
he
what
feel
OC
you
feel?
at all.
Yes,
Matter of
he
fact,
feel. He feel me a little bit.
Wrong.
I feel like
You
he
are
feel
fake
me a little
news.
bit.
It's all fake
No.
news. It's
Tell
phony
me, OC.
stuff.
Listen,
It didn't happen.
Listen, Shannon Sharp said something in the chat. He said, look, you got to take into account coaching and you got to take into account how the offense is managed. I thought that was a really good comment by Shannon Sharp.
he also said, just look at Stafford.
Yeah,
Right.
look at Stafford, and that's a really good point. So here's
Hold
the
on,
deal.
let me say this right quick. I got a lot of
Man,
detractors
don't
before
do
you
that,
go.
because
Look,
Stafford-
I
we
got a
know
lot
It's
of detractors.
pandemonium.
A lot of detractors saying
always had
37
the talent, so don't
touchdowns is
do that,
equivalent to
boss.
15 touchdowns. That is fake news. 37 touchdowns today is not equivalent to 15 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's all fake news.
It's
It's
not.
phony
Especially
stuff.
37 to
It
10.
didn't happen.
10
You
interceptions.
can't tell me that dude was not a nice
Sir.
quarterback. Athletically, he had all the traits. You can't tell me.
You can, look,
Well,
so
here's
right
the
now,
deal, guys.
so right now, Big Game James, Matthew Stafford is better than Dak Prescott. You would take Matthew Stafford right now. You take Matthew Stafford right now.
Ability-wise, throwing-wise, yes.
Period. Just period. Would you
Yes.
take him? Period.
Throwing the ball, yes. But not overall. Okay. Well, you can believe what you want.
So
I don't
let
care.
me say this. Let me
Y'all,
say this.
y'all
Big,
in denial.
Big.
Matthew Stafford threw all of them interceptions for this Dallas Cowboys team.
man.
Y'all
No,
will crucify
dog.
him.
Y'all in
Y'all be
denial.
saying turnover Stafford.
I
That
ain't-
defense
I
is
ain't-
Matthew
well,
Stafford. I'm
Stafford's
tired of
a
y'all
great
just keep
quarterback,
on
but I'm talking
placating with
about
Dak
as a
Prescott. Y'all know good and well.
quarterback.
Matthew Stafford had all of those same
Athletically
offense over there in
throwing the
Detroit
ball.
land,
Yes, he's
and they was
better
ready to
than
get
Dak
rid of him.
Prescott
Come on,
throwing
man.
the
Y'all
ball. Yes,
please
he
get
is.
out of here.
Hold
Get
on.
out
We
of
got
here, man.
wait. We got us a good fight
Matthew
on our
Stafford is not
hands.
better
Let's
than
get
Dak
some
Prescott.
organization.
I don't
No,
care.
we
I'm
gonna
not
watch
running
this
away
fight.
from it. I don't care
I
if
gotta
everybody
watch
hates
this
on
fight.
me.
You
I
up
don't
first,
care.
Big. You
I don't
go.
Okay. What I'm saying is this. When we talk about throwing the ball, I said throwing the ball. Athletically throwing the ball, Matthew Stafford is a better throwing quarterback than Dak Prescott. Yes, he is. Dak will not throw those passes. He's safe. He's he's conservative. Look at I told you, boss. I sent you that stuff in 2016. He's still doing those same things. He's doing those same exact things they said in 2016. And they said he was conservative. They said he would look around the pressure. They said he would throw at the receiver, wouldn't throw to the spot. He would throw at the receiver. And he's still doing those same things. I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm not saying I don't like my quarterback, but I also got to realize what it is. He's still doing that. It's year 6. He's still doing that.
All right, it's on you,
That's
Law.
not alarming to you?
Go, Law.
Dak Prescott threw for 17 interceptions. That's 7 more interceptions than he threw last year. You guys would have been baptizing him with the crucifixion, reverse crucifix. Look, here's the thing. Defense win championships. I would love for the Cowboys to have the #1 defense in the National Football League. Huh? Matthew Stafford had the #1 defense in the National Football League. Hey, and if it wasn't for that defense, they wouldn't have beaten the 49ers in that playoff game, by the way. But I come here to tell you guys.
I'm not saying he carried the team, though, Law. He needed that, too. But he still, you can't tell me he can't throw the ball better than Dak. Can he? Yes or not? Throw it. Throw it.
But it's more than just throwing, Big. It's also
the ball.
Can I say something? But I'm just saying, answer that. Is it right?
Hold on, Big Game James. To your did Jim Kelly? I'm gonna ask you this: did Jim Kelly throw the ball better than Troy?
Yes.
Jim Kelly
Did
threw
Jim
a
Kelly
nice
throw the ball
ball
better than Troy?
Yes.
Do Jim Kelly numbers below Troy Aikman's number
Elway
out of the roof?
Elway 2.
But you can't tell me Troy Aikman couldn't throw the ball, though, Law.
That can throw the ball.
Tony Romo could throw the ball. Who can throw the ball better between Tony Romo and Dak Prescott?
But it's more than just throwing the ball.
No?
It's also decision making.
Right.
So
I think
Big.
Does he
Big?
play the safe way?
I got
Yes or
something.
no,
I think
boss?
that's gonna sell it. I got something. I think it's gonna
Yes
sell
or
it.
no, boss?
Big. I think that you got to define what do you say an elite quarterback is. Like you got to clearly define that because right now it's not clearly defined. And let me answer your question.
Okay.
Has Dak Prescott peaked? Okay. I think that Dak Prescott, what we saw the first, I would say 4 to 5 games when he was playing to me at an ultra elite level, right? I think that that's close to his peak. I think that with a good preseason and offseason and not having to worry about the injury, I think that you could see more of those games out of Dak Prescott this coming year, in fairness. Now, if you're comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, it's no comparison in terms of arm talent, in terms of ability and reads, and just overall commanding an offense, okay? It's no comparison. Is he a Tom Brady? No, he's not a Tom Brady. But what I want to hear from you, because I want to be clear, what is your definition of elite?
Okay. I will say my definition of elite quarterback is when you don't have all the players I've seen from elite quarterbacks through all my time in football. You may not have all the greatest players around you, but when you can still win those games, without the I would say quote unquote elite talent, good talent, you can still win games, still take your team upon that next level. Elite quarterbacks can put the teams on their back. I still question that with Dak, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I see sometimes he can do it.
So with that motion, would you take Eli Manning over Romo then, if that's the case in that scenario? Who's the better thrower of the ball, Eli or Romo?
Eli could throw the ball. I mean, y'all can hate on the league, but you can't sit there and tell me Eli didn't kill us. You can't tell me Eli didn't make elite throws when he needed to.
So you literally would take Eli over Romo.
You can't say did he or did he not, Law?
Did Eli kill us or that defense collectively in 2007?
Elite throws against Dallas when he needed to.
But that's not what he asking, Big. He's saying which one would you take?
Okay, but did he?
No, okay, he killed us. I'm gonna answer your question. Now, which one would you take?
Yeah.
Eli Manning. Because he made the elite throws when it mattered.
Joe Flacco or Tony Romo?
Good one. That's a good one right there.
That's tough. That's tough right there.
That's a good one right there.
He can throw the ball.
That's tough.
Nobody
I know Joe Flacco can throw
talent.
the ball. But that's
Joe
tough.
Flacco can throw
because both of them are arm talent, but both of them weren't leadership. And that's where I say Dak, that's why I keep Dak in the conversation, because he has that, but he doesn't have that elite throwing like those guys have, but he does have the elite leadership. I will admit that.
All right, listen, I'm sick of talking about this. I really am. I'm sick of talking about this because Dak is our quarterback. We can't do nothing about it. But at the same time, I respect everybody's opinion, and we would end it like this. Dak just got to shut everybody up in 2022. Right? Can we agree with that? that we all want him to shut up everybody. This is the last topic. All right, this is it.
One of the questions that I kept asking Mike and Dan, and if you will and Stephen, one of the questions I kept asking, is there a pick here that would give us a big compliment to what Micah is? Is there a pick here that would make him have more pressure, pass pressure, or let us use him more flexibly behind the line of scrimmage, get more blitz out of him, or get that? Where's the complementary aspect to it? And we really addressed that good. And I think that when you look at Damone Clark and you look at Harper, I think that, and then when you step over and look at Sam Williams, I think we have really upped what the options that we have with Micah.
Man, I'm gonna say something, man. I'm gonna jump on this pony first, because the OC made a video of talking about Damone Clark eons ago. Man, he's a good pick. Man, I like Damone Clark. Man, I like his range. Man, I like his playmaking ability. Man, he closes the ground on all these boys, man. He's a hard, firm tackler, man. He's really, man, what you want out of an NFL linebacker, man. And he can cover sideline to sideline. Man, he is he can blitz too. He's a nice piece. That was a fantastic value pickup, because to me, Damone Clark is a better talent than where he got drafted. But man, that's a great pickup. Love that pickup. I just want to jump in and say that real quick.
Yeah. And
that's good right there.
Hey, real quick, Big and Law, y'all still friends, bro? Y'all still
Man,
cool?
I ain't friends with him no more. I ain't friends with him.
I'm trying to make sure these boys over there mugging the camera. They looking at the camera like.
If he's hot about that, he can't be hot about that.
No,
no,
I love my dogs.
I'm gonna fight for the Cowboys.
I'm making sure, dog.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna get some pushback on OC on that Damone Clark.
Oh, that's big.
Give me the pushback.
No, hold on. Before he get in pushback,
give me the pushback.
What is wrong with Big today? Big, put the guns down. No, put them out. Shoot them, Big. Shoot them.
I'm saying,
go.
Look, OC is right about Damone Clark. He looked really good in the Senior Bowl. I was watching him next to Channing Tindall. His tape is nice, and even last year when he played with Jabril Cox. But that's a neck injury, spinal neck injury. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm a little cautious about that. I'm a little, and when I hear Jerry Jones, what is one guy that I tell you that can just really just have Micah this and that and have this and that? He's not playing. You see what I'm saying? So totally. That frustrates me when I hear Jerry Jones saying all this about Damone Clark and he's not even going to be on the freaking field. We don't know. We're taking another guess, just like he did it with Jaylon Smith. When he said all that stuff about Jaylon Smith, you can shake your head all you want, boss. But when he said
I was stretching my neck, dog. God dang! I'm stretching my neck, bro.
With Damone Clark, because you wanted Damone Clark, boss. When we were sitting there, you said, "Big, we got to get him now. We got to get him now." And I was feeling you because of the talent, but neck surgery. Spinal injury.
Hey,
really?
But hold on.
No. I got this.
Let me get in.
No, Law. I got this. Trust me this time, Law. Trust me, I got this. Trust me. This time. Just only this time. Now, Big, what if I showed you something that could make you feel a little bit better? Would you be open to it?
What?
All right, here you go.
Stephen, with a guy like Clark, when you go through the medicals with him, is it, hey, have the Cowboys had a guy like this has had this injury and come back from it, so you feel more comfortable about it?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hate to get in talking about other people's injuries this day and time. You get yourself in trouble, but we do have, we were able to compare Clark to a player on our team that very similar. So feel good about it, and feel good about this guy and how he's going to go about his business and how much he loves the game. I really think we got our hands around this, and this guy's one hell of a football player when he's healthy. So, and think he'll be healthy. Like I said, in time, maybe even to, really help us this year at some point.
All right. So he talked about the reason why they made the pick. Just listen to me, Big. Can I get my case out, dog? Or do you got your mind made up? Because if you got your mind made up, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Be quiet. I'm sorry.
All right, let me just get my case out, and then you can shoot me down, dog. All right. So they talked about that their point of reference for having confidence in Clark was a former player. Well, that had a similar surgery. Who was that player? Who was the only player that had back surgery that worked out for him?
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it worked out for him. And it worked out for him good. Now, also keep in mind.
Has he been injured every year?
But he's been productive ever since his surgery. He's been productive since the surgery.
How many games did he miss?
But not because of his back.
But not
because of his back. See, you just want to fight today, Big. Big, you want to fight today, bro. I ain't listen. I'm gonna just be nice to you, Big, because I don't feel like fighting, bro.
Injured player on the roster every single year.
Yeah, but not because of his back.
How not? The back goes to the leg to the ankle. You know that.
Okay.
The hip bone's connected to the thigh bone. The thigh bone's
so
this
is the question. This is the question, Big. This is the question. I'm finna ask you a straight up question. You gotta answer it. Was DeMarcus Lawrence productive after the surgery? Yes or no?
The next surgery and LVE is still playing and he's doing what he's doing right now. I'll be like, okay, because LVE is still playing. But I'm not listening to DeMarcus Lawrence at all. No.
But he was productive. Like, after the surgery.
Khalil Mack had more sacks than him and less games that he missed.
When you got to name a top 2 DE, that's not a knocker on DeMarcus.
Let me
you got to make a case without naming the best.
Let me end this real.
Put some fire
put some fire to me.
So listen. Okay, so Big, what round and where was Clark drafted?
5th.
You took my argument, man. God dog, boy.
Where was he drafted?
The 5th.
Okay, so that's an extremely low risk pick.
Right.
There's not a lot of money tied into it. This is not a long-term, $100 million contract. In the event of the player that Boss Cowboy just mentioned, DeMarcus Lawrence, right? We got very little skin in the game with a 5th-round draft pick. So this is a boom or bust proposition, and it is a risk-reward ratio with every draft pick. And with his ability and his talent, I would have took him in the 5th round if I was the GM all day long. If he works out, it's going to be a steal.
Yeah.
If he doesn't work out, he's injured. Oh, well, whoop-de-doo. We spent a 5th-round draft pick. Not a 3rd, not a 2nd, not a 1st. A 5th-round draft pick for a guy that could come in and be super impactful. And, by the way, I think because of his age and because they have familiarity with this with their doctors, they wouldn't have took him unless they got a real good look at him. And you got to remember, Damone Clark was the Buckus Award runner-up behind Nakobe Dean. And there's a real good reason for that. And you can look at the production side by side. In total tackles, it's almost double that of Nakobe Dean. So I like Damone Clark a lot. Case closed.
Yeah.
Like him a lot.
Hey, to be fair to Nakobe Dean, when I posted
I
that,
didn't hate Damone Clark. I said I love the talent. I'm saying I'm tired of our front office juicing up these players like, oh, well, this is the guy, but yet we're waiting till injury. So do you understand where I'm coming from, OC, where, yes, it's risk reward, but you're putting these eggs in these baskets and pumping it up to Cowboys land like this is the guy. But what if he doesn't? Because what I'm saying is y'all pumped up Jaylon Smith like this even after the injury, and what happened? Do you understand where I'm coming from with that, OC?
Yes, I
don't understand at all because the OC already explained it.
Hold on, boss, real quick. After the injury, though, when they drafted Jaylon Smith, he came and he gave you 3 really good years.
Right.
He gave you 3 really good years. So you know what? Oh well. He gave you some productivity. You rolled him to the wheels fall off till he couldn't run no more. You know what I'm saying? The man pretty much couldn't run no more by the time you cut him. So you got everything you could out of him.
Yep, and they hey, Big Game James, they believed in him so much they paid him before they paid Dak.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you, Big Game.
I'm gonna be quiet now.
Man, I think you just having a bad day,
Big Game. At this point, man, look, I get it, man. I know I mentioned Kool-Aid, man. I shouldn't have tried to look. You made sure I can't force you no Kool-Aid, man.
I know.
Can't force you no Kool-Aid, huh?
You can't. Hold on. Do it again, Law. One more time. Show him the Kool-Aid.
Look, I can't force you no Kool-Aid.
He ain't drinking nothing.
So for me trying to get you drinking Kool-Aid.
Shame.
Hey, Big, I got something for you. Big, I got something for you. It's a big thing for Boss Cowboy to actually say publicly that he drunk Kool-Aid. Listen, I do not drink Kool-Aid without first measuring.
Yes, I am not drinking Kool-Aid without first measuring. Done.
You know what? When you come down here to Dallas, man, we're going to get a big old Kool-Aid pitcher, and we're going to make it side by side. We're going to say how much sugar, how much less, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to make sure we post it before we do our episodes.
It's going to be the most bitter Kool-Aid ever. I'm not doing it no more.
What? Big Game, you ain't going to post salt in the Kool-Aid.
I'm waiting. I'm salt in the Kool-Aid. I'm pessimistic Bill, pessimistic Patty, pessimistic whatever. I don't know. I like the draft, but I need to say I ain't jumping. Nope.
Hey, but this is what I know about you.
Let me
Matty
put Kool-Aid on Damone Clark before you go to your point, Ball.
All right, go ahead.
He had his surgery in March. Big Game James, you was out there for the Senior Bowl, and you was out there for the Combine. He did all of that. They did some extra work, and they saw that he had a herniated disc, and they did this to prevent future injury. He could have literally played and be shy with it and said, "Nah, I'm okay. I'm going to play." But they did the surgery in March. He now got the neck brace off. He's walking around. According to my insider source, he's looking for a home in Dallas. So he's ready. He's walking around. He's moving around. He just can't take contact to the neck yet. But they're expecting to start him on PUP, the PUP, and he should be ready late October. I'm with the opinion, don't even touch him now. Put him out there for 2023. You got you a diamond in the rough. You got you a dog who was potential to be a first-round draft pick, but you got him in the fifth round. What I want to see from an LSU product is Jabril Cox. I want to see him out there. Can you accept the Kool-Aid of Jabril Cox, or you still waiting to see Jabril Cox, Big Game James? Or you don't want that Kool-Aid?
I was never running away from Jabril Cox. I told you. The thing about Jabril Cox, and I thought it was true, and I feel like that's the reason why he dropped to the fourth round, was because his tackling ability. He didn't want to do it. You could see the coverage. You could see all the physical attributes. Y'all saw it. Boss saw it when he was at North Dakota State. He was at LSU. He was not jumping in there and tackling, and that's why he dropped. We saw him coming on at the beginning of the season. He started getting better because I was still leery of it. He started getting better. But let's be honest, folks. We see a lot of the potential, right? We seen a lot of the potential, but we still haven't seen Jabril Cox, right?
Right.
Let's keep it real. We basing on what we think, right? But we still need to see it because we haven't seen it like a Michael Parsons. We haven't seen it like these other guys. So we're going on the potential of it. And let's hope it still metamorphosizes. But he was still having them problems in college, and he didn't get a lot of tick in the real game. But we still need to see that part of his game, folks. That's real.
Hey, Big.
So Big Game James.
I'm finna give my boy Big a nightmare. Big.
I'm just saying. No, man. Man, I ain't.
Hey,
man, y'all know what I'm talking about.
No, look,
Boy, like
fellas,
y'all know what I'm talking
let me
about,
just say this
man.
one more time. Let me say this one more time. For the
Hey,
people
y'all act
that's
like
in the
y'all know
chat,
what I'm
for the
talking about,
people
man.
that's in the chat, for the people that's in the chat, this is literally barbershop talk.
Yeah.
This is how real boys supposed to talk.
Exactly.
Oh, man, this is
For
how
real.
real man's supposed to talk. Look,
Right.
we ain't soft cuddly, you know.
Nah.
But Big Game James, my dog for
That's my
life,
boy.
man. So look, this ain't no. no.
And
Hey,
look,
Big.
I do get what Big is saying, though. I get what Big is saying about Jabril Cox because we need to see that proof source. You know what I'm saying? You're right about
Facts.
that. So to me, drafting Clark and bringing in these other linebackers does put that pressure on Jabril Cox to hurry up and get back and show what he can do on that football field. So I agree with that, 2,000%.
Oh man, nah, Big. Listen, nah. This is what we all know about you. That's why we're giving you a hard time. It never matters when you might come across like you don't agree with something, because we all know this about you. You also humble enough to, if you do change your mind, you'll say it. So it don't matter about the current debate, because I know you humble at the end of the day. You say what you believe at the time you believe it, but you also have the humility to change. But you also got the nuts to stand on what you believe. Everybody respect that. Anybody that been watching the Final Word for any amount of time should know that. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the end of the day,
corrections though, man. You know, I'm all in these comments, boy. People said Law said that Dak Prescott is putting up Hall of Fame numbers. You got to listen to the full context. I said that if Dak Prescott had 3 years,
never said that.
He had 3 years, bro. If he had 3 years in a row of what he had last year, those would be considered
ain't no
Hall of Fame numbers. 3 years in a row.
Law, I heard you. See, they listen. Law is saying. See, the key word is to listen to the specifics of what he said. 37 touchdowns thrown is a Dallas franchise record.
Right.
If he does that 3 years in a row, that is Hall of Fame production, period. But the key is if. Yeah, he got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But if he doesn't do that, then that's not Hall of Fame. But 37 a year
and 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Shoot, I take that.
Look
right
that.
now, chat box. Would you take 4,000 yards right now and Dak Prescott put up 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions? Right now, would you take that?
Yes. Final word
in them big games.
Big
I'll go first on this one, my boss.
Yep.
I got some. Hold on, I got some for Big real quick. Big, I got some for you. Hold on, real quick, OC. I got some for Big. This gonna make you feel better. Do that make you feel better, dog? That's the only thing he care about today is if his white gorilla. That's all he care about is John Ridgeway, his best friend, the white gorilla. If we ain't talking about that white gorilla, he ain't smiling today.
He's smiling now. The vanilla gorilla, baby.
See, now look, he happily drinking that Kool-Aid. He laughing. He back happy. Look, he back happy now because we gave him his white gorilla. All right, final words. OC.
Woo! Man, look,
Lord
for
help
me,
y'all.
it's all
Pray
good,
for y'all.
man. It's all good. We got great ingredients in the kitchen, and I actually think that the impact of Dan Quinn and also Mike McCarthy is starting to increasingly permeate with how the Cowboys attempt to do business and be sound on both sides of the ball. Something that we didn't mention earlier that I think is super important, so I'll mention it here. The same spirit of competition and the best man gets the reps and wins that happened on the defense last year with several of the draft picks in the secondary and the free agents on the defensive line is now officially happening with the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. And it's great. They bring in other tackles. They bring in another guard. They sign free agency. So now we got a spirit of competition of the best man will play. And this is going to bode well, guys, I think, for the Cowboys going into the summertime and also the beginning of the year. So, hey, my final word is I'm optimistic.
Already. Oh, yeah. And I'm also optimistic. I'm optimistic because of the words of Jimmy Johnson, where he said that he will always take Jimmy's and Joe's over X's and O's. Because at the end of the day, you got to have playmakers before you can have visions of a championship. The 2011 Mavericks rarely happens to where a team of guys built on one star gets it done. That's a 1 in 100-year type of championship. The rest of the championships are built on talent.
Man, so y'all had Jason Kidd, man. Come on, man.
Oh, we ain't gonna do this
yeah,
long. I was slow down my final words, bro.
Y'all had a squad, man. Go ahead, man. I can't
we had old
Jason
Jason Kidd.
Ahead,
that was an old Jason Kidd.
Yeah, Jason Kidd was 45 years old.
Come on, man.
That was an old Jason Kidd.
We not gonna do
you
this.
You act like he was fresh out of Cal. That boy wasn't fresh out of Cal. You act like that was his rookie year. That was an old battered Jason Kidd.
You see how he did that, man?
Dirk
Did he win?
Was old
Did he win?
But y'all act like he was just out there by himself. Come on.
What'd you say, Big? Big. What was your question?
Did he win?
Because I don't think he heard it.
Did he win? Did he win?
Law, that question is for you.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, he won. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, boss.
All right, back to my final word.
Up, boss.
God dog. Jesus Christ, man. Man, that's see, he only said that, Big, because he only said that because we swept the Lakers.
Right.
And they trash and they watching.
And they was trying to fight us and everything. You remember that, Big?
Fight us. Yeah. Trash. Sitting down. We ain't counting that 2020 COVID championship.
Man, nobody count that mess.
Ain't nobody counting that.
That ring and that trophy would not expire. Come on, man.
Law, you don't even believe it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I
Big
can't
said
stand LeBron, but go ahead though. Go ahead.
All right, I go back to my final word.
We start all over. Go get the same
cut
one.
all y'all up.
Word.
I'm gonna cut all y'all
up
right now.
Somebody say, "Watch your mouth, boss." Hold on, Renell. You a Laker fan too? Listen. I can't do you Cowboy Lakers. I don't trust y'all.
Laker, right?
I don't
Cowboys,
trust y'all.
Lakers, boss.
I don't
Cowboys,
trust them.
Lakers.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm from Mississippi, man. Who you want me to root
Lakers,
for, man?
boss.
Cowboys, Lakers, and the Yankees.
Lakers fan, I almost think you sus.
I definitely can't stand the Yankees, man.
Big. Anybody like LeBron? That I like the Yankees. I like the Lakers and the Cowboys.
Sus.
Almost damn near cried when LeBron put on that sacred gold and purple, man.
Sus.
Come on, man. He don't belong. Look, but LeBron is LeBron, though.
They won that championship.
Yeah, man. Them old Lakers. Yeah. That's a crazy thing. Y'all my brothers on football, but don't step outside that lane because we will fight.
Yeah, because we'll bust your head in basketball.
All right, back to my final word before I was rudely interrupted by Law Nation himself. God dog, I done forgot my whole final word. I was in the zone, too. I was talking about Jimmy Johnson. I was preaching hard. I was talking about X's and O's over Jimmy's and Joe's. I was going there. All right.
You going with it.
Let me get back in there. All right, I'm back in there. But I do really believe this, that it's talent. And when you got talent, even with horrible scheming that might happen from a Kellen Moore, even with that, we still could have and should have beat San Fran. You know? And you can get hot when you got the talent. So the reason why we all laughing today, the reason why everybody's spirits is up in the final word in the chat, everybody that's listening, because we have hope because of this talent and it's real. So, you know, we go hold front office accountable and we go still call out those things that need to change. But I'm happy today, and I believe we got what it takes to make some big moves in 2022. That's my final word.
Okay, well, here's my final word. I don't believe a lot of that that you just said, boss. Not from me. You know, I need to see it. I'm tired of this noise. I'm tired of the same talking every single year. You know, you got a coach who has to get to an NFC championship or win a Super Bowl to still be the coach. You got a guy who they keep talking about, Sean Payton, who's in broadcasting, that could be the guy next year. You have that hanging over your head. You got a lame duck status right now. You got two owners sitting and the coach sitting in between them. He looks all uncomfortable.
True.
I'm sorry. I just don't see where this is going to be some great, a crazy year, and they're just going to rise above when they couldn't do it last year and rise above and just take home the trophy. I'm sorry. I love my team, but I just don't believe that. I feel like this is a lame
fire.
Yoga feel like they're gonna take a step back, and I can totally be wrong in it, and I will say, okay, don't mean I love my team, but I think they're taking a step back. With all this controversy, with all this drama, I don't think the Cowboys have the will and the know-how, because they haven't shown before that they can rise above the situations. So why would I believe, with all this controversy that's going on, that they're going to rise above it and do it now when I've never seen them do it in this period of time? So I'm sorry if I'm being the pessimistic right now, but I don't believe that, and they have to show a lot of it, because they have not shown any of that since I've been watching them in the last 26 years, and that's my final word.
I respect it too. Respect the hell out of it.
Man,
Put him in the middle seat, Big James. You pointed that out. Put the man in the middle seat.
He put fire all over it, man. And shout out to, let me just read these super chats right quick because they came in. Shout out to Jay Reese, man. He said that Dak Prescott threw those 37 touchdowns against the Philadelphia Eagles third string. Kudos to that.
I don't mean to tell your super chat to shut up, man, but shut up, man. I can see y'all. Like, them 4 touchdowns was the only. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. Your final word.
No. That's my guy, man. Jay Reeves, man. And shout out to Drew.
Man,
shout out to
hold on.
Shout out to.
I'm sick of these dudes hating on Dak, bro. That's stupid. Like, okay, do the math, dummy. What's 37 minus 4? So the Philly touchdowns did not make the whole season, you idiot. Like, stop hating on your quarterback. Like, we can debate. You saw Big Game James and me and Law all have a passionate debate, and it was real. But sometimes y'all go to the bridge of hating, and it's stupid, and it needs to stop. I'm sick of y'all.
Boss, let me finish the super chat.
Okay, go ahead. Law. Go ahead, Law.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God, no.
Man, talking about a super chat. Let the man talk about a super chat.
I know, man. I know, but that touched my soul. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Law.
I feel you, man. Look. I get it, man. People are expecting Dak Prescott.
That's South Dallas.
Look, let's South Dallas, man. Jay Reese from Dallas too, though, man. So
I know Jay is.
Get the
South Dallas. Yeah, don't be bumping into each other and getting into it about Dak Prescott.
No. Dak Prescott
I ain't gonna fight over Dak. Ain't gonna be no knuckles, man. But I ain't gonna lose my passion. I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
No.
Even if I see him in the streets, I'm gonna tell him, bro, you tripping.
Southside.
No.
Southside, boss.
I'm gonna say you tripping to your face, bro. You tripping. Like, that's hate, dog. Oh, he won it against Philly. A whole year. A whole year is not a game.
Let Law finish the super chat.
All right, man. I'm sorry.
Law, finish the super chat.
All right, go ahead, Law. God,
I'm watching this cartoon. I watched this cartoon with my daughter called Turning Red. You know, is it a full moon? Are we turning red over here? Look, I get it, man. Look, man. We are expecting Dak Prescott to do something that Aaron Rodgers couldn't do last year with one of the better wide receivers in the game, of course, and they had the third-ranked defense in the game, of course, right? And Aaron Rodgers, who can throw the prettiest ball, couldn't do what Dak Prescott did, right? And Dak Prescott couldn't do what Aaron Rodgers did against those same 49ers. But shout out to Dak Prescott heading into the 2022 season. Zero excuses. This is his 7th year. I agree with Big Game James to that sentiment. This is his 7th year. There should be no excuses. He got to roll up his sleeve and get out there and make something happen. This is Kellen Moore, 4th year ever calling plays, so we really need Kellen Moore to step up and be up. Hey, on this final word, I just got to ask all three of y'all, just quickly, what are the holes on this defense?
Oh, good question. Good question, Law.
I'll give you mine real quick. Proven pass rusher besides Micah Parsons, and proven one technique. And I say we got, because we got the people on the team. Yep. Yeah, we got the people on the team. I'm saying proven, consistently good, one technique.
All
Prove
right,
it.
Big Game James.
I agree with that.
What was the whole?
I totally agree with OC with especially with the 0 to 1 tech. Bohanna still is a question mark. You got John Ridgeway, but you don't know because he's a draft pick. So that middle, and just like he said, a proven pass rusher. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's not that guy that's a pass rusher. He's a guy who's an all-around player. Our only pass rusher is Micah Parsons. We still are wondering if Dante Fowler or Dorrance Armstrong Jr. So, yes, you still have question marks with that, especially in that middle because, remember, Dallas still gave up over 100 yards rushing a game last year.
Ooh, this gonna lay up so good to this final word. Big Boss Cowboy, what you got? What you got?
I'm glad y'all gave me some time to think about it, because I will still say linebacker because most of them been under the knife, and that's concerning.
Yeah.
And then sometimes them injuries can start snowballing. So I would say linebacker, and I would steal the OC's point and say that we don't have a lot of experience at one tech. We got Neville going into year 3? And that's the most experience you got. The rest of them guys are green, and hopefully they go step in and develop.
Right. So with all of that being said, out of this draft, there's only one player that had more sacks than this guy out of this draft, and his name was Aiden Hutchinson, right? And the person that we drafted was named Sam Williams, which go by D. Williams now. He had the most sacks.
Don't do that, Law.
Look, I got to do that 4.4 speed, and you talking about Dan Quinn. This is my time to give y'all Kool-Aid. This is my time. Y'all got to give me the Kool-Aid.
There it is, Law. Shut up, James. Let the man drink his Kool-Aid.
I'm interrupting you now. Don't you do that to try to compare him to Don't you do that.
Why, baby?
Don't you do that.
It's coming down.
Well,
this is my time. I'm reclaiming my time.
Get your time back, Law. Here's a cup. There's your cup, Law. Go.
Don't you do that.
You messing up the drink. The rotation, Big. Let the man drink his juice.
I did. I spilled his drink. I bumped into him.
Open wide, you thirsty.
All right, but
he had the most second most sacks coming out of this draft. They went and got him. They're gonna match him up with Dan Quinn. Look, you watched the tape, Big Game James, the OC and Boss Cowboy.
Yeah.
Hey, when they rushed Sam Williams and Evan Neal was on their edge, he was reaching for air. He couldn't hit him because he was so fast. Go look at that Alabama tape. Oh, and I actually saw Sam Williams cross up Charles Cross like he was AI. You can say Chris Cross. You can say Chris Cross make you jump. Hey, that Charles Cross was hitting ass. So that's fast, that's speed, and that was the world's smallest front three that I ever seen in my life. Look, there's people right now watching this chat that's bigger than Ole Miss front, and he was able to do that out of a 5 technique playing 3-4 defense. So I'm quite sure Daniel Quinn will figure out a way to make this brother eat, especially with Parsons. If you put Parsons on that same side, you got a 4-3 guy and a 4-4 guy rushing off of that edge. What that left tackle gonna do, OC? He's gonna do what to accomplish that, to accommodate that speed? What he's gonna do?
He gonna open up them shoulders and let him hit that quarterback.
Yoga, fire.
Yeah, that left tackle going to be widen his stance because he know he got a 4-4 guy and he got a 4-3 guy coming off that edge. B-gap got to be exposed at this point. All we got to do is just make sure we stay disciplined to our lane gaps, lane responsibilities to shoot through there to get to the quarterback. So the shortest distance to a quarterback is a straight line, is straight up that middle, and they're going to have to make some business decisions. If he line out wide, so that Leo role will be D. Williams. I think that he's going to do that. I think that they're going to stand him up. They're going to put him in the ground sometimes, but I think that they're going to get some production out of him, even if he's just a pass rushing specialist. I think that even with his linebacker situation, look up Devin Harper. I know that he's going to be a special team guru, special team hero, but if you look at his tape, he can hit and he plays aggressive. I think that in a rotational situation, if you give him a few snaps and if they do this thing the right way, he can probably beat out LVE as it relates to physicality. And this is a guy that pretty much was drafted in the later of the rounds. Didn't he mention that in the presser, Boss Cowboy?
Yeah.
By Devin Harper?
Yep, he sure did.
He mentioned Devin Harper. So, look, this defense didn't have that many holes as it relates to what we think. And we got your boy, Big Game James, but the vanilla gorilla. You know, we got him. So let me see that. You see that gorilla? You hear that gorilla? We got the vanilla gorilla. You put him inside the middle. Man, he's 6'6", 320 pounds. And he also played on a traditional style in Arkansas, 3-down lineman. He was the biggest plug. He didn't have no one beside him. So now I look at it like even if they kick D-Law in as a 3-tech and they have him out there, I think that they improve a little bit on the rush defense, and I think that they will come a little bit better. 6'5", 321 pounds. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. I'm not finna beat a dead horse. This team, we were 12-5 last year. No, we wasn't 5-12. We had our hiccups, we had our injuries, we had our woes, but I'm ready. Put me some Kool-Aid emojis on the film, man.
Man,
I can't wait to get this thing going the best way. We got the OC upside down, but that's okay. Man, that's my words, that's my thoughts, man. Let's go, Cowboy Nation.
All right, man, let's go, man, because you know what? We got you, Law. We got you.
It's Mr. Nasty time.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Nasty time. Take it easy on my back.
Take it easy on my back, huh?
Yes, indeed. Oh. That's what we wanted to do right there. All right, man.
We good.
All right. Y'all stay up. We got a special guest coming next week. We're not going to announce it.
Yeah.
We're going to have a couple. So
I just wanna run it up.
we're going to talk about it after the show.
Really in the field,
Hey, I enjoyed it today.
That's a good show, man.
Had a good time.
I've been really in the field.
Had a good time.
I love the feel lately. I just wanna run it up. Don't need no bills, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal lately. I just wanna run it up. Yeah.
Say that again, Law.
Yeah, me and Boss go back and forth. Hey, you remember we was at the walk-on, the one up north.
Yeah.
And me and the OC went back and forth over Terrence Neal. Remember that?
Sure did. It's part of the game. We all men. It's cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing I love.
Here.
Ain't nobody feelings get hurt. You know what I mean?
I'm
cool.
good. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We hear you loud and
Okay,
clear.
we're good. Okay.
You know.
Come on.
I think that was fun. I like
Yeah.
that. I stirred up the pot a little bit.
You did.
Yeah.
Hey, it was real though.
You guys,
It was real, though.
you guys ought to hear my conversation with my brother, who's a 49er fan. You don't know how we go back and forth.
Man, it's all good though, man. You was knocking our cups out our hand today, Big. But hey, I picked mine up, throw some ice in it. I threw some ice in it. I kept on drinking, big dog.
Yeah, kept on going. Okay, that's what's up.